Cheers.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 with Chef Tomas Rivera. I don't know if you saw part 1. You should check out part 1. Just to recap, we talked about him cooking in New York, working for Patrick Clark, the way the kitchens were ran back then, the way the kitchens are kind of run now. But just watch that because his time is very valuable, and I want to get through some stuff. As a business owner, chef, and everything I stated in the past, what's your definition of success?
It's a good question because there's success to the point of being self-sufficient, meaning you can pay your rent, you can pay your staff, you can pay your bills, you can pay yourself.
Right.
I mean, just being able to do those 4 things
Right.
should be some type of success.
Right.
I mean, to advance on that success, it takes a little more work, and there's different levels of that success. I mean, you're not going to become, a millionaire chef a year into this thing,
Right.
I mean, there's celebrity chefs, and I put that in quote because celebrity is a whole different ballgame.
Right.
But to be successful and to have longevity in this industry, you have to know all facets. So it's not an easy thing. But again, it's as far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of a controlling person. Right. I have a vision, and I see that vision, and I want things to go that way. And luckily for me, I have people that are with me that either follow my vision or can make my vision a reality. And you're just as good or as successful as the people that work with you.
Right.
Because I feel that I could do everything 100% of the time, but I can't. And for you to grow and become more successful, you need people around you to help you see that vision and deal with your creativity craziness.
Right. Right.
Which this industry or this profession gives me a chance to be. I consider myself an artist.
Right.
I used to do art back in the day, back in New York. I used to do subway days. Woo. I used to do graffiti.
It was tough back then.
It was.
It
was, but it fed my creativity back in the day, and that was what fueled me. The fame of being popular and people knowing you for a certain thing. And then you get to doing what we do in our business, and again, it's great to be popular and people to know you and people to hire you because you're popular, but you gotta produce.
Right.
At the end of the day, your name's just gonna carry you so far.
Why didn't you just become a celebrity chef and just take the easy route? I mean, you could go work in the hills, cook for a family of 4, feed the dog some extra, whatever, and just...
A celebrity chef is pretty new, man. I didn't know too many.
Chef. Maybe it's the private chef.
Yeah. Private chef is a different. That's a whole other avenue. That's an offshoot of what we do. I mean, private chefs. I know some really great private chefs. It's a great career. It's for somebody that needs some stability. 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 Somebody that needs a 9 to 6 job and needs 5 days a week or 7 days a week. It's a great career to have, but you have to you're consistently on call.
Right.
And you have to produce for 2, 10, 12, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a great job to have, and in Los Angeles, it's a great career to have because there's opportunities there where you can make six figures
easily
and sit around for 6 months.
Right.
Because somebody's out in Italy at their other house.
Right.
So it is a great career to have. It's a positive way, but it's also a mindset that I need this stability.
Would you consider yourself a celebrity chef at this stage? And the only reason I say that because you find yourself hanging with a lot of... You always hang with celeb to some degree, whether it's Coachella, up in the hills. So you don't have the title.
Correct.
But You kind of, sort of, is kind of, sort of.
Well, I mean, celebrity chefs in LA are driven by one or two of the items that they make that are really good. You know, you have Ludo, who made the fried chicken, who became famous for the fried chicken. He opened a little restaurant, and now he's a celebrity chef in Los Angeles. You have the guys from Animal. They did their show. They put out really good food. They got some really good restaurants, and you know, they're kind of celebrities. And then you got the old school guys like Puck and Joaquim, and then you got new school guys that are coming up. You know, but celebrity lasts just so long in this town because this town is so fickle.
That's true.
That you could be a celebrity for a year, 2 years, celebrity chef, and then boom. You know, not everybody could be like old school Emerald or you know, my boy from England right now who's just cursing everybody out.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Right.
And not everybody can be Gordon Ramsay. You know, I wish I had that accent.
Well, the thing with Gordon, you know, he trained with Marco. And he's earned his stripes, so he completely capitalized on everything. So I give him his props. He's definitely yeah. But anyway,
Right.
How do you feel about Yelp?
Okay, Yelp. Yelp is a nightmare and a dream. Yelp is a dream for me as a consumer, because I'm someplace where I've never been before and I want to find the best sushi spot or the best burger spot or whatever. And I just put it on Yelp. I'm in this location. What's the best spot in town? Where can I go? It is genius as far as that's concerned. Mm-hmm. But to be a Yelper and to be the Yelpee is a totally different ballgame. I mean, you're running a business that, if you're lucky, 80% of the people will like what you do, but you're always going to have that 20% that either don't care or that don't like it.
Right.
No matter what you do.
Right.
So there is, and Yelp gives those 20% a voice.
Right.
So while there are amazing people that give Yelp reviews and businesses deserve them, whether good or bad or infinite. I mean, it could really hurt people that just had a bad day.
Right.
And consistency in restaurants and in any business, consistency is key. If I go to a restaurant and I have that killer Caesar salad, and I bring my friends and my girlfriend and my wife, and I want to have that killer Caesar salad, and the next time I have it, it's not like that, or it's not the same. That it's not gonna make me want to go back.
But why not tell the manager, whether you're getting good service or not, I had a bad service, whatever, why run away and jump on your phone when I'm standing right there? I'm the manager. Now you go on Yelp, now the owner's contacting me as a manager, why aren't you doing your job?
Right.
Well, I didn't know that happened because no one said anything. I just read the review just like you.
Right.
So my thought is like, why not go straight to the manager and say, just as you know, FYI, and give the manager a chance to correct it.
Correct.
As opposed to just putting it out there. And
me in the industry, I will never badmouth anybody. I would say, well, maybe I didn't like that service, or maybe I didn't like this thing, but I would never Yelp and say, it was just horrible. I couldn't do it because I know how hard this industry is, right. And I know that everything's not 100% all the time, you know? Mm-hmm. People are people, human beings.
Right.
Are cooking, sometimes things happen that are not in people's control. You know, and it's a really, really, really tough industry to be with. So anybody that's in this industry, I want them to succeed. You know,
right.
And for me to put them down on a social media platform where they might not have or they might not have known. Right. Me personally, if there's something that I really like about a restaurant, and I say there's this one thing that's not working out, I will go to the manager, or I will say something to somebody and say, hey man, you know, I'm just not nobody. I'm a chef, which I hate bringing up to people.
Right, right.
You know, because I don't want people to treat me any differently than anybody else, because that's the way you actually feel service. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When you're just a regular person and you actually feel like a VIP.
Right.
You know? So I would never. I would go to some manager and I would say, hey man, this was great, but the salad or this or whatever, just those little tweaks. You know, hit them with, hey, everything's awesome, but if that, you know, maybe if that salad wasn't sitting around for 10 minutes and got all soggy, you know, the dressing is great, but the lettuce is
Right.
Right. And it is something people don't think about. It's like, I'm out for the night and I paid $25 for this meal and I didn't like it, or it wasn't hot, or it wasn't salt, there was no flavor. You know what? There's people behind this trying to survive and trying to live and trying to do something, and for somebody that doesn't do this to just say, hey, they're not good, that's bullshit.
Right.
I mean, the people that are not good will not survive.
That's true.
They're just gonna close up and die.
Either way.
Correct. Right. But then there's people that try,
having a bad day, or you just never know.
And it happens.
Yeah. So for me, when someone says a large event, I'm thinking 150, maybe 200. When someone says a large event for you, what number are you thinking about?
It's a good question, because there's variabilities of the catering business of it. Okay, because like I said in the prior episode, catering is a whole different ballgame. Catering means I have to pack up an entire kitchen, bring it to your house, and give you the same quality service that you're having at a restaurant at your house. And I've got to make it seem like I've never been there at the end of the day, and clean up and make a successful dinner. So because of that difficulty, I found that the more volume to do, the more successful you are.
Okay.
So yes, I could do a party for 20 people. A party for 20 people can take as much time and as much effort and as much detail as a party for 500 people, except that the profit margin is larger.
Oh, got it.
So yeah, I could put out 100 dinner plates at the same time for these people, making $50 a person. Or I could do it for 500 people at the same time for $50 a person.
And make your money on it.
And make some money.
Right.
Actually make some money.
Right.
So I'd rather do large events. The bigger, the better.
Okay. When someone calls you, and one of my pet peeves is budgeting. What's your budget? Well, we just want to feed 40 people. We just want to feed 100 people. What's your thought of when people call, or just call a catering company, have a budget in mind? Like, be realistic. How much do you want to spend per person? Just don't say how much you charge. I can't tell you what the balance is, because I don't know if you want to serve cornflakes or if you want to, serve
chicken or lobster.
Right.
See this gray hair here? That is because of those people calling and not giving me budgets. See, it's a difficult situation, because in this industry, there are other people that are going to be bidding on the same event, that are going to see that vision in a different way, and are going to underbid you and get the event just because they're cheaper. Right. But does that mean that they're going to get the quality that you give them? Does that mean they're going to give the quantity? You get what you pay for in this business. You know what I mean? So I am not somebody that's going to go after the quick buck. I mean, I found that you could do that and you could be just spinning your wheels the entire time. I would rather work for somebody that appreciates what I do and pays me on the higher end to do to take care of all the details, to have great labor, great service, to have really good food, to have a really good decor, to have really good people working and make the event successful. Because most people that have parties, they have that one party a year.
Yeah.
So you got to kill it, or that one wedding, or that one bar mitzvah. You got that one chance to blow these people's mind. And that is how you keep longevity in this business, by getting 10 of those 100 people to give you a call back and say, hey, I'm having a bar mitzvah next year. I love your food.
I referred you to someone else.
Right. Yeah. So as far as having a package deals should be regulated to a location. Say you go to the Hilton and you're gonna have the silver package, the gold package, the platinum package. That's when you could go, okay, but I'm a caterer who customizes my events, and I need to feel what you're thinking and visualize, well, do you need a nice premium bar or do you need just liquor? Do you want 5 courses or do you want a buffet?
Right.
Do you want to do past appetizers or do you just want to get into the meat of the matter?
Right.
You know, how many people are we feeding? How many hours of service? How many things can happen? So when people call me and go, hey, give me a price on this event, it's my nightmare. Because unless they're knowledgeable of it, in Los Angeles, people have the vision that, oh, tacos are $1. So why is food so expensive? Why is your menu so expensive? My menu's not expensive because I'm paying more for food. My menu's expensive because I'm bringing the restaurant to your house.
Right.
So how much would you pay if you go to a fine dining establishment
Yes.
or to a fine dining restaurant? How much would you pay? $50, $80, include some wine, $100?
And we're talking about valet. We're not talking about tipping. We didn't talk about beverages yet.
You're not talking about anything like that.
Right.
You're just talking about food and service and bringing the noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Jeez. What goes through your mind when you have multiple events that, like, one day's open and then for some reason everybody wants to have their event in that one day, like maybe 2, maybe 3 events. Mentally, what goes through your mind when that happens?
Well, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but just from experience, you got to have the mental ability for production. Production is key. Production means getting the menu, breaking down that menu, pricing it out so that you know that you have some leeway as far as your food cost. Once you break down that menu, buying the product, purchasing the product, getting the product in, prepping the product, cleaning your meats, cleaning your veg, basing it on how close to the event day you're coming, and saying, I'm going to do my proteins, marinate my proteins, I'm going to do my veg, take care of my veg, I'm going to do everything else, pack it up, put it in the box, everything, and then the next day go into the event. So, if you're doing it for multiple events, production is key because you need to make sure that you have all the menus broken down. Prep lists, huge.
Right.
You know, having good people that know your vision, know what you're doing. You know, you try, if you're successful enough, you have a reputation where you do a certain food type that people stick with you. I mean, if somebody tells me, which is the worst thing you could ever ask me, oh, what kind of food do you specialize in?
Dog food.
Yeah.
We specialize in dog food.
Well, you know what? I specialize in good food.
Right.
Like my menus go across the board. I have chefs that work for me where I do Indian food one night, Hawaiian food the next night, Japanese food, Chinese, American comfort food, because you can't fucking get out of this town without making a burger at every goddamn party. So forth and so on. So to me, to be successful in this business, I needed to know enough about each cuisine and enough about each food to make it taste good, make it tasty, and fit the theme that I put together. Because at the end of the day, there's one theme, there's one way to do it.
Right.
You know, unless you have all the budget in the world, and then that just goes out the window. But
That
doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So we talk about logistics, staffing, people that know.
Staffing?
Staffing.
Kill myself.
Which
now.
is tough these days. Staffing is, every chef I've spoken to, when I bring up the word staffing, they're just like, how much time do you have? So I know staffing is always, especially these days.
Staffing is just a nightmare. It's because, like I said, I think before, the people in this business are like wanderers. Nobody you can really count on in this industry because everybody's in it just to make their $20, $25 an hour for their 5 hours a day, because They're busy doing something else, like acting, directing. I'm a musician. I'm this. I'm that. Anytime somebody goes to me, well, I'm an actor, I say, well, what restaurant do you work in?
Well, I mean, it gives you the freedom, and I get it.
It does.
They gotta go, call backs. I completely get it.
But
now
you
they
also have
Postmates,
to
Uber Eats, so now they can drive and make the same amount of money.
Look, man, this industry is not the same as what it used to be, and that is where it's going. It's going toward that way. Nobody wants to pay for service anymore. Nobody wants to pay for a waiter. Nobody wants to pay for me to go to their house when they could just order it and have it delivered.
Right.
Right. So you've got to keep up with the industry, and that's kind of how I see myself. I kind of stay ahead of the curve. I've switched off from more off-site premise events, which I still do on a large scale, to incorporating daily lunches for catering for 50 people a day. Office catering.
That's perfect. It's just drop off. They just
Exactly.
pick it up and you're
exactly.
set.
Either drop it off or deliver it, and that's the way I see the vision, the future of this business going to. And if you ask any restaurant, they're all suffering now because of the Postmate thing.
Right.
People don't want to get up out of their house anymore when they can have it delivered to their door.
And they're not even calling you directly. They're calling
No, they're calling. Now I found out they're calling. They'll hook up to this. It'll send them to Amazon. Amazon will take a piece. Postmates will take a piece. That guy take a piece. By the time it gets to you, all the pieces are gone.
Yeah.
There's no pieces left.
Right.
So volume. Doing a lot of work.
Yeah, it's definitely different ball games. Networking. A while ago, people were super, and even in LA, people network, but they like to stay to themselves. How important is networking to you as far as knowing who does what, when, how, etc.? Or does that even play a role at all?
It's a good question, because I've always found that everybody in this business doesn't want anybody else in this business. They do not. It's not a cooperative industry, because you're always in challenge with somebody else that's ahead of you. You're always bidding against somebody else for this party. I'll tell you a quick story. I used to work for fine dining establishments, Patina being one of them, so I know the high end as far as the catering industry is concerned, and I've done it for years. And I used to hang out and play in that high end industry. And when I started my business, I said, you know what? I'm going to step down just a little more and be more available to more people, but still give them the kind of same service, kind of same food, drop my prices just a little lower. And I'm like just below them, but higher than maybe a volume caterer that's doing, just simple food, which, people need simple food too.
Right.
So I found myself in a little good cushion for years, and I felt I was successful because, I worked 3 or 4 days a week and I had off 3 or 4 days a week. So it was awesome for me and my family, bringing them up, and it was a good place to be in. And then the market crashed. And those people that used to be up here in that prime area or that higher grossing area dropped down into my market. Meaning they dropped their prices down because now everybody is scrounging around for those parties to keep them in business that they used to have budgets for that now don't have the budgets.
So all the top tier,
super exclusive dropped into my neighborhood.
Got it.
Meaning they pushed me down farther and gave me that smaller area to be successful at, that niche between the volume caterers that you could go to Panini Express and get $12 a person to feed 100 people, or you come to me for $20-25 a person to get a little more experience, and now all of a sudden I'm bidding against Patina and Wolfgang Puck to get those same events. Like, damn, it was scary, but I had to resolve, and I had the education in this industry to stay alive, and to carve my niche out with the people that I did. And I found myself being in the niche of production. I am the secret behind a lot of the top catering companies.
That's true.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I'm not the face, but I'm the boss.
You're a ghostwriter. You're pretty much a ghostwriter.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Correct.
Yes. For food.
Yes.
Yeah. So we talk about the network, which is you gotta have it, but people
people don't want to give up the information. People don't want to be friendly. People don't want to help you in this industry. Dude, this is such a hard business to be in. It is so tough. Like, that anybody that jumps into this business, anybody that puts $1 into this business, I wish them 100% luck. You know, and there's some people that are going to succeed because they see the vision, but most are not.
Right.
You know? Right. So I don't wish anybody bad. I wish anybody that jumps into this business to do a great job, but be informed of what you're doing. You know? Take some time to learn what you're doing. You know? You got to suffer the consequences before you can actually be successful.
Right. Before
actually you can build a business.
Right.
You know? I mean, they're just not going to come to you because you make the best apple pie in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
That's another apple pie company.
And there's a lot of people that make a good apple pie. And you're in that same pool of all those people. So you've got to have something that makes you special from them. You know, and as far as sharing information, you know what? At the end of the day, anything we cook from now on to the end of the civilization will have been done twice before we've done it by somebody else. By Scoffier, by freaking cavemen cooking on grills, you know? There's nothing new. There's a new technique. Maybe there's a new flavor. There's a new thing to do, but it's all the same or the same notes. There's the same notes in music, right?
Yeah.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
You got those. What vehicles would you recommend for someone who, whether they have a catering company, they need to buy a vehicle, or they're thinking about getting into it? What vehicles have you realized that works for you? Like, whether party big, small, is just dependable.
Vehicle, you mean as transportation?
Yeah.
Well, that's a tricky situation because anybody that starts out in the catering business is not going to start out with a kitchen. It's not going to start out with a vehicle that they buy. It's not going to start out with a location that they're paying rent for. I started out my business working from my garage for maybe 2 or 3 years, working out of my big black truck, which you know.
Yeah.
Can handle it.
What's the name of that truck? Betsy. You
have a name for it. Yeah, no, that's the Batmobile.
Oh, that's an old Batmobile.
It was the best thing I've ever bought because it was a big enough truck for me to do a lot of my events, so it was cost worthy for me. So as far as you say with transportation, it's just like with anything else. When you start in this business, you need to start with what you have. You need to start small. You need to put that money away before you can lease the location or you have enough clients where you're big enough to move on. I mean, just don't walk into the game throwing everything you got at a location and equipment and think you're going to be successful unless you actually have the client. The client is the most important person in this industry. You will have nothing without them, whoever they are. So spend your money wisely. Rent, lease. You know, renting a vehicle is probably the smartest thing to do because you get insurance, you pay that one fee, and everything is controlled, and
you
pick it up, drop it off, it's done. So now when you're doing multiple events, you either do that, or if you make enough money, you buy yourself a nice big vehicle where you can fit some transit carts, all your chafers, every goddamn plate, 6 of your employees, all the food, all the popcorn, the flowers, everything the hell else in the back of your car. Make sure that it doesn't spill because you don't want the back of your car smelling like shrimp for the next 6 weeks.
A bit much, but just rewind it and take notes. That's fine. So what we're going to have to do, time is tight around here. Tight. I mean, we got 30 plus years.
Time, baby, time. I got to get that. I got to get the donuts going.
Yeah. Time is tight. We have to do a part, what's this, part 2? We got to do a part 3, maybe even a 4. So we'll do another speed round with you again.
Go.
And then we'll talk about other stuff. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Politics.
Excuse my French. Fucked.
Coachella.
Fun.
Super Bowl.
I wish the Jets would make it.
The Jets?
The Jets. East Coast, bro. East Coast.
Millennials.
Coddled.
Work ethic.
Work ethic. Non-existent.
Chef jacket.
Clean and pressed.
Ooh, nice. Do I have time for one more question? My envelope question? Okay. I usually end it now, but I got this question I've been thinking about all day for Tomas. There's an envelope here, and there's a job in it. The job's going to require you to leave for 8 months. No contact with your family or friends. When you get done with the job, you're going to be set for the rest of your life. Now, the caveat is that you can't have any contact with any friends or family. It will be cooking related, but you can't have any contact with them at all. What is it you want to tell them now before you take off to this job?
See you later. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, guys, that's it. We're out of here.
What do you want to tell them before I leave on this job? You want to tell your family you love them because hopefully they support you. Most of the times you're doing this because you need to support somebody else or your family. I mean, we all work and work hard because we have something that we need to take care of. So it's important to have that, but to have the opportunity to go someplace else and spend 8 months working your ass off really hard so that when you come back you have some security, take it 100% of the time. You take it and you bust your ass to do it because that opportunity does not come easily and does not come to everybody.
True.
So family's important, loved ones are important. You're in this business again to take care of them. You know, put 100% into it and you'll get 100% out.
Wow. Well, that's that. I just want to thank you guys and thank you Tomas for his spare time. We're definitely going to have a part 3, so you guys stay tuned for that. I'm Al Gordon and Let's Get It, and we're going to leave Tomas's information under the screen, and you can contact him for any catering events, consulting, whatever you may need. All right, thank you. Good night.
Cheers. Yeah, no, good stuff.
All right, man. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I got a couple of